What's going on, everyone? It is Will Mitchell here, and today we have an ultra VIP guest, the Honorable Mayor Wally Nunez. Wally, thank you for coming over here with me, man.
Thank you for having me.
And first of all, big congratulations on your recent win.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
very
you for
exciting,
sure.
man.
Very exciting time.
Yeah, I hear it was a landslide victory, so.
It sure was.
And today we're going to talk a little bit, Wally, about your past accomplishments in your first term, some of the big plans you have for your upcoming term here. But my first question would be, we've known each other for a long time, but our audience might not. What's a little bit of your story getting to this point?
Yeah, well, first of all, I do want to thank the general public for all that overwhelming support that we had the last elections. But coming back to who's Wally?
Yeah. Who is Wally?
Who's Wally? I was born and raised here on the island. I am 38 years old, going for 39 this year. And ever since I was a kid, I've always been interested in the political field. And my grandfather, he was part of the Lions Club. So he and my grandmother and most of my family have always been involved in serving the community in different capacities. So as a kid, I was used to follow them. And I used to realize that there were some other venues to serve the community.
Yeah.
And I used to sit down with a lot of older friends, my dad's friends. And we used to sit down and on a weekend and they're talking and I'm listening to all the different concerns and ideas and everything. And I used to tell them after a while that it became like ideas and concerns that are being thrown out every weekend. But I always used to ask them, why doesn't any one of you guys get involved in politics? Or let's do something about it.
Make a change.
Let's make changes. And they said, you should get involved. So growing up, I started to like the political field and I used to go behind. At that time, there was Miss Patti Arceo and Florencio Marin from Corozal.
Yep.
All these guys that were here. Don Beto Marin, Beto Nunez, who was the past PUP mayor.
Yep.
And I used to go behind them and always used to be intrigued as what all can be done, right? And so that's where it all started.
It's amazing.
Back in 2012, I decided to run as a counselor. I was already a pilot for Tropicare for quite some time. And I decided to run as a counselor. And in that election, I was the only member from our party that won.
Yeah.
So that was like a bittersweet moment.
Of course.
But I did what I could as a counselor back then, but I knew that there was a lot more that we wanted to accomplish. And a lot of friends and family, they were like, you should go for mayor, you should go for mayor. And I still wasn't sure if I wanted to be the mayor because I knew it was a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
And we finally decided in 2021 that I was going to go for it.
Yeah.
They said, go for it now or don't do it. So I said, I'm going to go for it.
Amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, going to be mayor, that takes a lot of, it's a big role and it takes a lot of work to get it done. So stepping up to the plate is an amazing task. And more importantly, not only did you step up to the plate, Wally, I would say in your first term, you've exceeded a lot of people's expectations. What were some of the biggest accomplishments and some of your most proud moments from that first term as being mayor?
Yeah, definitely. I know there's a lot of work that we did during our first term. But I must say that when elected, a lot of people started to look at the mayor and at the council as what are your plans? What are you gonna do? Everybody's tired of hearing complaints and pointing fingers and saying, the other party didn't do that, the other party should have done this. And yeah, in a way, politically, you have to mention certain things, but actions speak louder than words, man, and we had to,
for sure,
to make things happen. And thankfully, we had some very good friends in government, and our parties in government.
Yeah.
So we had some good partnership to start to do a lot of work, and we know that the bridge was in a very bad situation. Actually, right after the elections, I went under the bridge because a couple days after it started to break apart.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, we
That was a
decided we
big
had to
one,
do
for sure.
something, so we decided to do another bridge right next to it.
Yeah.
And then we finally brought down that old bridge, and we built the other one so that we can have a 2-lane
And
bridge.
it's so much better having the traffic flowing both ways there.
Yes,
And
now you don't have that backed up traffic
way better.
and a lot of noise with the horns and all of that. So
Yeah.
that was one of our first accomplishments. But apart from the bridge and the roadworks that we started, because the roadworks is roughly around 9 miles of roads that we are paving, and we're not ending there. We have a lot more work to do north. There is south, and there's some other areas that will need some more work. There was a lot more programs that we had to start. For example, one of our counselors started a program which helps families with, it's like a pantry program, and it helps around 200 families
Wow.
every other week with groceries, and they pay a minimum amount, and then they get a lot more value
Yeah.
for whatever they're paying, right? So it's a pretty good program that they have started since the first year.
Yeah.
So it's been going almost 3 years working on that, and we are planning to expand a little more, hopefully getting it up to 400 families.
Wow. That's a
Right.
big accomplishment.
So that in itself is a big accomplishment. We also have some events. I know people say, oh, you guys make too many events, but these events are beneficial for the town in the sense that we have a little economic boost
Of course.
for the people that, well, during COVID, a lot of people started their new businesses.
Yeah.
And just this coming weekend, we have the Women in Business Expo.
Yeah.
So it is something that boosts a little bit of that economy flow for the locals and tourists as well, because tourists like it. They have somewhere to
It's a
go.
great thing to do as well.
Yes, and there's always something for tourists to look after
Of
in every
course.
week that's
Yeah.
coming,
Yeah, I noticed a lot of great events. I think we brushed over the roads. That was a massive achievement. And doing it in the local communities, hitting the areas that really need it. I mean, man, I
Yeah.
never in all my years would have expected that to be at the point it is right now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these residential areas, we realized in the first year that there was so much money being spent in repairs. So you're repairing the DFC area,
Yep.
then you move to San Pedrito, then you
Yeah.
move to San Mateo. By the time you're finishing San Mateo, you have to
You're
come
going
back.
back.
And it's like an ongoing work year round, spending so much money on material and equipment that it's basically like a no-brainer. You rather just
Get it
pave
done
it and
one time.
get it done and let's move on. It's easier for people to get from work to home, kids to school,
Way better experience.
right?
For sure.
And it also enhances the areas.
Yep.
It gives another economic boost to that
Yeah.
location. There's more traffic in the area, so it helps everyone.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we could go on for a long time about all the other amazing stuff you did, but one thing I want to know, Wally, knowing now you've got this great resume under your belt, where are your targets set? What are some of the big goals for the upcoming term here?
The upcoming term here, we have more roadworks to
Yep.
get done, but something very important is beach reclamation, because a lot of our tourists that come to the island, we have nice beaches, we have Secret Beach, but due to climate change, we have had some problems with erosion. So it is something that we're looking at and doing some studies. We have been doing some studies for the past 2 years
Yep.
to be able to target the areas where we want to do the beach reclamation, but not just do it without proper planning. We want to be doing it in a more nature-based solution that you can have wherever the beach. It has a natural process.
Yep.
Where the beach grows itself at a certain time of the year, and certain time of the year you get more erosion. But we want to target where we're going to be placing the sand, where we're going to be extracting it so that it becomes a flow.
Yeah.
And you can do that every maybe about 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
So that it replenishes itself, right?
That's great. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
And a
the
more
product
natural
is the
process.
island, right? And the product, really, the beaches, the reef, all of these things are why a lot of people come here. So
Right.
I love where your head's at with that, and being able to maintain those beaches, it's huge.
Right. And right now as well, we're partnering with BTB because now they want to do the music and food festival here annually. So it's going to be done here on the
It's where
island.
it should be, man.
Right. And we're also planning ahead because we're planning on building a stage that's going to stay here. You know, it's going to be like a permanent stage.
That'll be
Planning
amazing.
an artisan market along the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Something nice that it would enhance the tourism product. You know, people will want to go to that area.
That'll be huge.
Some
Wally,
more
what were some
plans.
of the biggest, techniques or strategies you utilized during the first term to have such great success?
One of the main things that we had to look at was our accounting and all our system that we had in place in the town council, because once we change that around, you can see now that the revenue collection is a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's increasing annually. We're implementing some other measures as to how we can collect more revenue.
Yep.
There's, for example, we have the docks that usually go to the Ministry of Natural Resources. We want to have like a co-management and a
Which
share
would make sense.
shared revenue
Yeah.
with the government to be able to manage the docks. And so that would increase our revenue.
Yep.
And these things are what will boost the town council to be able to do more projects. So to me, one of the most important factors or things that we had to do was get our books in place
Yep.
so that from there on we can do a lot more.
That was the biggest one.
Right,
And from there, it springboarded you into the ability to do all of this.
that's right.
And I know in our past conversations, Wally, you mentioned just the transparency of it. That's a big kind of pillar of what you're doing, right?
Right. And we have done our audit for the first 2 years, and our last year in council, which was the third year,
Yep.
we're doing our audit, which should be done by mid-year or a little bit after. So this is something that whoever is investing in Belize and looking at what we're doing, they like what the council is doing because we're being transparent. And now we're getting a lot more sponsorship even with different
Really?
businesses because they see that when they sponsor anything at the council, we give them the receipt
Yeah.
that you're sponsoring for such an event,
It's
right?
amazing how that works.
And it goes directly
Wow.
for that.
Love that,
Right.
Wally.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that this is directly the municipality working on this, but what's the deal with the new hospital going on here, Wally? Or just any even little details you can share on that, because a lot of people are excited about that.
Right. Well, the new hospital, this is something that has always been the wish of all
Right.
islanders. We need a new hospital.
Yeah.
Myself, as a pilot, can tell you firsthand that it is something really necessary here
Yeah.
on the island. I've had to fly out people late at night, 2, 3 in the morning,
Yep.
and time is very critical when it comes to emergencies. And so it is very important for us to have a hospital here. I'm glad that the government of Taiwan and through the embassy of Taiwan here in Belize, they realized and they have the trust in the government that we have now in coming up to to the government and to us, the local government, and having that trust that we want to
Yep.
build the hospital now. So it is an ongoing project. We just did the groundbreaking a couple of weeks ago, and it is something coming up pretty soon,
I love
and
it.
we're all excited about it.
Yeah. Wally, one question on people who talk about not having the ability to sustain growth on the island. What's kind of your stance on that and your outlook and your forecast for the future of San Pedro? You know, are you optimistic? What's kind of your stance on the future of San Pedro and the growth?
I am optimistic. I see development and how San Pedro is transforming. And I know that we have a lot of potential here on the island to grow. The main thing that I believe that we need to do is to plan a little bit ahead in the different areas, because everything is concentrated in the town core.
Yep.
And once we do that, we can expand the different areas and grow.
For sure.
And as you can see now with the roads being done in these different areas,
Yep.
it enhances those areas, and there's more businesses opening in the different areas. So it's good. And we also embarked on a planning for the San Pedro Master Plan from the last term, and they're about to finish now, so that we can get a plan in place as to how we want to move San Pedro forward.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that one. Final question for you, Wally. Our audience is very engaged in all the different things going on in Belize, but specifically here. Are there any avenues or any ways that they can get involved and help support what you guys are doing, or organizations they should be looking at that we could get them involved in?
Definitely. Well, we work together with different organizations as well.
Yep.
We do work together with the Lions Club. We work together with the Rotary Club. There is also other smaller organizations that do different types of charity. For example, Saga.
Yep.
And different other organizations here in town that we do assist as much as possible. But if anybody wants to have any input or want to help, we have the different counselors who have different departments on their belt, which we have, for example, sports. We have a sports committee, which has been very active, and it is very nice to see the kids getting involved as well.
Yeah.
There is another program called the Child Advisory Board as well,
Yep.
through another counselor. We have the police, the cadets. So there is a lot of
ways.
a lot of ways that you can get involved and you can help and be a part of the betterment of the island.
And you know what? If people are coming here, if you've been here for a while, I think absolutely people should take the initiative to get involved in those things. So I'm telling you guys, if you're coming out here, look at all of those different avenues, get involved. I really encourage it. There's nothing more fulfilling than becoming a real member of the community. And Wally, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for jumping on with us.
Thank you.
A lot
Appreciate
of great
it.
information. Thanks, brother.
Yes, definitely.